Welcome back to another episode of Everyday Integrity. I'm your host, Dawn Vitale.
And I'm Margie Bowling. Let's get started.
So, this week we're talking about communication as one of the pillars of integrity. And we're hoping that the communication skills and tips and tools that we give you are going to help you in your relationships. So, today we're talking about managing conflict and how to fight fairly. And hopefully, it's not a fight. Right. Hopefully, when you're in a dispute with somebody and you're having some hard conversations with somebody that you disagree with the other person's point of view,
Yeah. Or maybe you're not actively listening.
possibly.
You're not hearing the other person, or you're taking it personally. These things happen. They're normal in life, right, Dawn?
Yeah. And it could be as simple as like you disagree with how to handle a situation at work, or it could be how you're handling your relationship at home with your loved one or your child.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, all in all, I think conflict can come from, or fighting, it can come from taking something personally and not hearing. And so, you want to like pull up something and make something about it.
Yeah. So disagreements are not the enemy. Conflict's going to happen in any relationship that you have. So we're just going to give you a few tips and tools on how to navigate those sticky
If you
circumstances.
care.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm gonna lie, like sometimes I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah.
This is not,
Yeah.
I got other things to do.
That's true. That's true. Sometimes it's not the fight to have, right? Like sometimes you're willing to give up. You're not going to die. We say sometimes you're not going to die on that hill, and it's not worth it, or the person who's in charge has the upper hand, and you're just going to give up that win.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it takes some
sometimes,
wisdom to know the difference and to walk away from it, or it might be a great opportunity to say, I want to learn more about how to navigate conflict when it comes up, because it does all of us.
Yeah.
And so I think that there's a lot of growth potential there, Dawn.
Yeah. So the first thing is like, you don't want to like, and I guess we should just start with this, like stick to the issue. Don't bring up like old beef you have with the person. Like if you're bringing in like your, it's so, it's not, if you have some grudges up against that person, then maybe that's not the fight like you should be in, especially if you're like still holding on to those grudges and they're becoming evident and even verbal in the moment while you're trying to go through this new conflict. Because you're going to be biased. You're going to think about that person negatively, the same thing you thought about them the last time.
Yeah. And I think when we're kind of like getting inflated or whatever, heated up about something, like we lose like that logical thinking, right? And so therefore, sometimes like take a break if emotions get too hot. Like I have sometimes like I can be like I can go to 0 to 90, Dawn.
Yeah.
She's like 0 to 60 or 0 to 100
Yeah.
in 5 seconds. I might be 0 to 60 in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
She's Italian and from New York.
New York.
But you know, it's good to take pauses. It's good to step away from it. I would say that's probably one of the best ones for me, that sometimes I'll just, with my partner Dan, I'll just go, oh, that's interesting. And then I'll hold on to that and use it against him like 3 months later. Don't do that.
Oh,
don't listen to us.
No, don't do that.
But you step away from it, and honestly, like here it gets to the winning. Who wants to win? I love him. Like it's cool that I win. Sometimes there's a balance in relationships, but you know what? I want him to win.
Yeah.
I don't want to make him wrong.
Yeah.
Right?
But you also have to hear the other person's point of view, right? Like listen to that side without being defensive. And like if you're listening, like really like go to your point, go back to that active listening, the one that we talked about on Sunday, and like literally stop and hear what they have to say and be honest with yourself. Like is what that other person is saying.
Yeah. You might find a new way to see things.
Yeah.
For me, like a conversation with Dan when things get heated. I don't always agree with him, but you know what I really like about him? He's got some convictions and integrity. I'll be like, you are out of your rabbit mind. But I like the fact that he says, well, this is who I am.
Yeah.
And I love that when people can be a stand for that, that's honest. But if you can't back that up, because you may not agree with that person, or you could say, you know what? You're really passionate about that. Let's try your way.
Yeah.
And let's give it a whirl.
Yeah.
Surrender that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so like I feel the same way. I feel like I this is just my personality. Sometimes I'll control the situation and I have to be really in the practice to surrender to other people's perspective on things and try on something new intent in an intentional way, like to just give up the control of that situation. And that allows me to do something new in a different
Right.
way.
Yeah.
And then also take some pressure off me from being responsible
Right?
for the
Oh,
outcome.
you think so passionate about that? Why don't you show me how to do that? But you got to do it the first time. No, it really, I mean,
Yeah.
it really works. Like I've been in a different like work, new colleague and stuff. And I really like the amount of respect, but you know, I'm a little older and a little more experienced on some things.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm necessarily smarter, but we can kind of get stuck in our ways a little bit. But
Yeah.
I've stepped back many times and said, hey, do you have a better way of doing this? And he's like, I was just waiting for you to ask. I'm like, great, let's do this. But he does that to me too. So I appreciate that. And it's also just understanding that you see things differently, or there might be a new way to see it. And let's utilize everybody's like
Skill set.
skill set.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had one recently where like I'm not a pro at Excel and I had a colleague who just stepped in and sort of did the mastery of it. And I was like, I'm fine with that because I don't know Excel the way this youngster knew the Excel. And so he was able to bring that and then everybody else brought their own perspective about the data.
Yeah.
And it just
You
worked.
still are contributing.
Yeah.
And like I'm kind of going through the exact speaking of Excel, like 20 years ago, I was the hottest dog in the block with Excel. Well, it's like come a long way.
Yeah.
But I use it as an opportunity to say, great, go ahead, let's do it this way. But I would like when we have a little downtime, review that with me or let me go through it and figure it out myself because I'm better at doing that and circle back to it. So I'm learning lots of really new things.
Yeah.
When I've been doing a lot of things the same way over and over and over again for many years. And it is some humility at times.
Yeah. Well, the humility actually, like for me in the past, Margie, I've been like, it's got to be me winning and the other person losing. And that didn't work in my relationships. And it actually killed a few relationships that I've had. So I think the goal here is to get people to look at it from like, I think you said it earlier to me. What are you going to use for
yeah.
this?
You can sometimes you can see in conflicts, either you can ask yourself or ask the other person, do you realize that you're holding on to this righteousness so wrong, so firmly that what you get out of that is, do you really want to make others wrong? Do you? I know when I say that to myself or I say that to other people, the reaction I get is I get like, no, I don't. And other people in their own humility, they'll say, yeah, it's like an instant, they'll go, yeah, I was doing that. I don't want that.
Yeah. If you're making other people wrong, what I think is interesting, and Maya Angelou says it is when how you make people feel is how they're going to remember you. So if you're constantly making people feel wrong, then
Well,
that's the kind of
always wrong.
But if they are wrong, like they are, but if they're not always wrong, can't we just aim for the win-win?
That's when I go like this. Great, thank you for your contribution. I can't wait to try that out.
Well, relationships are a compromise, right?
Yeah.
So like I think that's what we're shooting for is that in relationships, we're both moving towards the same desired outcome. They might be different, but they're close to the same like North Star, right?
Yeah.
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 Compromise.
Mm.
All right. We hope you got something out of this.
We do.
Have a namaste.
Bye.